What's up nerds, this is Bibs and today we're talking about mixing. I have 10 tips for you, let's get this started. Number 1, frequency masking. This must be the most important concept when it comes to mixing. This problem happens when you have 2 or more instruments playing at the same time and occupying the same frequency range. This will lead to muddy mixes, so you have to find a way to give each instrument its own space by either EQ, volume automation, or sidechaining, to name a few. In this example, I have a guitar in green and a synth in red. I'm taming down the clashing array on the guitar side to give both instruments more definition. That guitar will sound thinner in solo, but it will fit a lot better into the mix, and that's what matters. Number 2, before considering doing any EQ boost, try to add a layer that has these frequencies that you are missing. For example, if you listen to a kick and snare in solo and it sounds dull, you're going to be tempted to boost these frequencies with your EQ. But before doing so, try to add a hi-hat or a tambourine loop on top, and you may realize that's all you needed in the context of this production. Number 3, many engineers will tell you that the most important tool in the mixer's arsenal is the volume fader, and I strongly disagree. If the given sound is poorly designed and all over the place frequency-wise, you can have it loud or quiet, it's never gonna sound right. Conversely, if the sound is well balanced in and of itself, turning it up or down will become a creative decision and it will come off as intentional. And that's what I call macro and micro mixing. Macro being the big picture and how each tracks are balanced with each other within the mix, and micro mixing being the sound design and the balance of each individual element. Number 4, if you're trying to embellish or fix a sound and you're not even close to the desired results, chances are that you are either using the wrong method or the wrong tool. Many times I used to think I sucked at some things to find out years later I was simply using the wrong technique. So if you're having a hard time, don't beat yourself up, take a step back and do some research on what are the best ways to approach this particular problem. Once you crack the code and find what's best for you, next time you come across this situation, you'll be able to solve it within minutes. Number 5, if your mix sounds off but you can't really tell where the problem is, throw an EQ on the master and sweep through the whole frequency range by either cutting or boosting. See what feels better or worse. This way you're going to be able to notice if there's lack or excess of energy in certain areas. Once you pinpoint the problem, bypass that EQ on the master and do the same adjustment into the individual track in your mix. Number 6, sidechain. This technique is usually associated with the kick and bass relationship, but it can be used elsewhere. For example, if your chords are getting in the way of the vocals, sidechain them with each other so the chords only duck down when the vocals are happening. You can even try with a multiband compressor, so only the overlapping frequencies will turn down, which ties into the frequency masking effect that we talked about earlier. Number 7, be surgical when mixing organic elements. I'm talking about vocals, guitars, piano, or any other real instruments. We already have a reference of what these are supposed to sound like, so unless you're making bold moves and creative EQ, be careful not to denaturate at the risk of sounding phony. It's really easy to go overboard when EQing, so I usually dial back the curves by injecting some of the dry signal. In FabFilter, you can do that with the dry wet knob located in the bottom right of the plugin. Number 8, grouping tracks and processing them as one is a great way to have them mesh together, especially with compression. For dance music, I like to group my kick, bass, and chords together, heavily compress the whole thing so I can achieve that big wall of sound. Number 9, mix fast. Not to save time, but to get as much done as possible while you're still objective. The first 30 minutes are crucial, after that you start to lose perspective and your initial critic. That's why you should always be looking to speed up your workflow, create your own templates to get the most out of those first 30 minutes. And last but not least, ear training. I know it sounds boring and tedious, but see it as an investment into yourself. Not having to hunt for frequencies and being able to spot the problem right away will make mixing better, faster, and more enjoyable. There's plenty of apps and websites that propose little games to improve your listening skills, including frequency recognition, compression, panning, and other aspects of mixing. Try them out, they are usually fairly priced, if not free. That's it for today. Let me know in the comments if you tried any of these tips and how that worked out for you. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time.